welcome back to the Jabir Show. I'm Kenzie Fell, and we're here with the University of Dayton women's head basketball coach, Coach Jabir. We're going to talk about the past 2 A10 wins with him and his next upcoming 3 games. Welcome back, Coach.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. So I worked the last 2 games actually versus George Washington and Fordham. They were so exciting. The fans were crazy and the girls were playing so hard. Both teams were really fast-paced, just like us, running up and down the floor. And George Washington was very much anticipated game. They were both undefeated in the Atlantic 10. So tell me how that game went for you.
Well, like you said, it was real fast-paced. Our fans were terrific. The environment was great. We loved it, and they're a good team. We were able to play some really good defense and able to get up and down the court. And so I was really pleased with the outcome. I thought our second half defense was strong, and I was really pleased with the outcome. And I think we're getting better every day, and I think that's what matters.
We had 13 three-pointers against George Washington. We shot 48.1% from the three-point range.
Right.
Were the girls just hot, or what have you guys been doing?
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny because as well as we shot it against George Washington, we shot it that poorly against Fordham. We bricked a lot of shots in that game. So, and what has to remain constant, if it's not your offense, it's not your shooting, it's got to be your defense, and that was the lesson learned. And then it was exciting too because you know, Allie scored I think 14 points in the last 5 minutes of the game, which really put it over the top for us. So we finally got our shooting touch back. It was a little late, but better late than never, I guess.
And speaking of the shooting touch, Andrea and Amber both had 23 points. I think it was Amber's game high, or season high. So they really stepped up for you that game.
Yeah, both in the George Washington game, both Amber and Andrea were amazing. We were just pushing the ball up the floor, and they were just spotting up and nailing them. It was, you know, I hope those days happen some more. But it was great that we could put them in those kind of positions where they could get those shots and then make them. So that's what it's about.
And Sunday we played Fordham, and we had 16, I think, lead changes and 9 ties throughout the game. That game was so intense. So how do you think we played for that?
Well, I think Coach Gately's done a great job at Fordham, and they've got probably the best player in the league in Erin Rooney. And she controls tempo so well and does a lot of good things. But they shot the ball well early and amazingly well, and we did a pretty poor job identifying shooters. Couldn't make shots, but we were able to go into the locker room down just 1 at halftime, considering how poorly we shot and how great they shot. But then, you know, like I said, at the end, Allie was able to make some shots at the end when it mattered, and we were able to defend, and we had some great defensive stops at the end, and so we were able to persevere and triumph.
We are on a 9-game winning streak, which is so fun. Did the girls love that? How do they feel about that?
We never talk about it.
Really?
No, we never do. We don't. I mean, we don't talk about TV games. We don't talk about records or streaks. We just get ready for the next game.
So you don't know anything about the 22-game win streak of consecutive A10 games?
Well, people tell you, but we don't talk about it. And I'm kind of superstitious, and I think that as soon as you start talking about that kind of stuff, it kind of goes away. So, but really, truly, you know, your dad's a football coach, so you know that all you can do is really prepare for the next game and hope the streak continues that way. But it's more about the process than it is about the ultimate goal. And if you just worry about the process, the goal will take care of itself.
All right, so tomorrow we play at UMass. And you guys are leaving tonight, correct? Hopefully there's no troubles with the snow.
Right.
But they are 3-16, and I think 0-5 in the A10.
Right.
So have you prepared anything special for these guys, or what's going to happen with that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I got another boring answer for you. We're just going to prepare like we prepare for every team. They do some things very well, and you know, anybody can beat you at any game, anytime. So you know, we're going to try to take away what they like to do, and we're going to take advantage of the things they're not good at, and you know, they're very athletic actually, and you know, we're going to go there, hopefully get there, and they don't have a big crowd, so what we don't want to do is show up, be flat, and not be prepared, and lose a game that we have no business losing. So every game is a challenge, and there's a hurdle at every turn, so we have to be always prepared.
And so your next 2 games are both on the road. Hopefully that doesn't affect the play. Like you said, girls are always up for road games. You
Right.
guys are fine at home, but you're great on the road too.
Mhm.
And then your next home game is on the 1st, February 1st
Right.
versus George Mason,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes.
And that is also the National Girls and Women in Sport Day.
Mhm.
We'll talk more about that on the next show.
Great.
But thanks again, Coach, and good luck this week on the road. Here's our Flyer fan photo of the week submitted by James Davis, one of Coach Jabir's campers. Thank you so much for submitting that. And also, keep submitting questions and Flyer fan photos of the week to drennenc1@udayton.edu. Thank you so much for watching the Jim Jabir Show, and we'll see you next time.